Hey, what's up guys, ICT and welcome back to a brand new video. With the Enderman Slayer update, they actually have added loads of new stuff. I actually made a video about that, one of them being the Enderman Cortex Rewriter. This essentially can upgrade the Enderman pet from Legendary to Mythic. In today's video, we will look at the perks and compare them to other pets in the Enderman Slayer. I hope you enjoy. So let's start with the perks. As you can see, the first one lets you take 30% less damage from Enderman. This can be very helpful when fighting the new Enderman Slayer mobs because they deal a lot of damage. Here's a clip where I get basically rolled by a Voidling Extreminist with the baby Yeti pet equipped. The next perk isn't that great, but it's not as bad either. It adds damage to the aspect of the end for 5 seconds on teleport. If this stacks, but I don't know if it does, then it might be very good for users with an aspect of the end as their main weapon. The legendary perk increases the odds of finding special zealots. It used to be OP, but now it doesn't really matter anymore because there are better money making methods. And now the Enderman Cortex Rewriter adds the mythic perk, which lets you gain combat XP from Enderman. This is in total actually better than the Wolf Pet, at least for Enderman Slayers. Now, let's actually compare the mythic Enderman Pet to the legendary Ender Dragon Pet and the Tiger Pet. Of course, those aren't the only good pets, but the Lion Pet, for example, only is good for like the first strike, like one hitting. But like for the whole fight, it's not that great. But there are, like many pets which are good, but I'm just talking about those three in today's video. The Ender Dragon Pet has two very good perks. The first one being the End Strike ability. This makes it so you deal 25% more damage to end mobs. I don't know if the Enderman Slayers count too, but if it does, then it will be very good for extra damage. The legendary ability increases all stats or like most stats by a total of 10%. This can be very good for tanking as well as for damage or like for damaging at the same time. The one with the dragon ability is not that great, but because it buffs the aspect of dragons, but it's like not a good sword anymore. I like it's still good, just for a certain phase of the game. It still gives like pretty good stats, or like the pet gives very good stats, and yeah. And finally, the Tiger Pet. What makes the Tiger Pet so good is that it gives 25 base ferocity at level 100. Its first two perks are generally pretty good, as increase all ferocity by 50% and reduce healing by 55% per melee hit for 10 seconds. The last perk reduces or like deals more damage when no other mobs are around in like within 15 blocks, but it's not that great. So it is by far the best ferocity pet in the game, and it can help a ton when trying to get the hits for some of the phases. Like the Enderman Slayer has like some phase where it like only takes hits. There it's really good, but it's like not really worth constantly switching pets. So yeah, I'm now going on to my overall judgment. My overall judgment would be that the Enderman Pet is very good for tanking and grinding kills to spawn the bosses, but it is relatively expensive, but it's good for the Enderman Slayer. Otherwise, not that great, except for zealot grinding maybe. The Tiger Pet is generally a very good pet. For the Enderman Slayer, I would not recommend it if you have a legendary Ender Dragon or Enderman Pet, because it is only good for the hits phase of the boss, so where it only takes like hit damage. The Ender Dragon might actually be the best pet for the Enderman Slayer because it deals a ton of damage and the 10% stat boost can also help you to survive. Its downside is its cost, of course. It's very expensive, but it's probably also very good. I'd say that the Enderman Pet is very viable for the Enderman Slayer. The 30% Enderman damage reduction makes it very good, but the damage is kinda garbage. Let's be honest here. The tanking is pretty good if you can't afford like an Ender Dragon, which does like which balances like damage and tanking. And if you don't have like enough XP to get like the destination armor or like the final destination armor, it's still pretty good for tanking, but otherwise I wouldn't use it. Maybe I would probably just use the Ender Dragon if I have one, but I don't have both. I just have like an epic Enderman and an epic Tiger. I have like that and I have like that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like and a sub, and I hope to see you next time. Peace out, guys.